Your job was bad. Like, really, really bad. Only made worse by your boss having a crush on you, which always made him give you double shifts so he could awkwardly flirt with you. Not even the money was good, or the fact that, due to your double shifts, you got Saturdays and Sundays off. You just felt cursed your entire life. The truth be told, your entire life had been this way. When you attended daycare, you had always been the tallest, making the adults there treat you like another adult. And of course, the other brats at the place were too intimidated by you to really be of any use to you as friends. Ironically, most children experienced growth spurts in elementary and middle school. Meanwhile, you skipped a few. So you turned from the tallest to the smallest real quick. Your situation at home was no better. Your dad jumped from job to job. Apparently, none of them fulfilled his standards, which obviously was a lie. The man often liked to go on excessive long rants, pointing out each and every flaw you had, without any real attempt at trying to help you fix them, while at the same time talk about how perfect he was. Well, a model narcissist. Your mother, well, she wasn't help either. She was completely and utterly useless and bitter. Like a ghost, she wandered the halls of your house's second floor, muttering and babbling to herself. Of course, later in life you learned the truth of her situation, which was addiction. You didn't have a grandmother, but a grandfather, who at least compared to your other parents was slightly less horrible. But the man was blind and smoked like a car factory. Even to this day, you started feeling sick when you inhaled the smell of cigarettes, just because of him. It was a wonder you somehow survived that. Maybe some would see that as an inspirational story, but to you it just felt like further unwarranted punishment. You entered your house in the middle of a suburb, stepping over a bunch of letters. You felt pushed aside here in this community, surrounded by families living in the same home, with the same front yard, with the same backyard. It should be great. It really should be. Honestly, it was great on paper, you just felt unable to fully appreciate it. Which in itself was bad, sure. Well, maybe other people weren't entirely at fault for where you found yourself in life. You threw your work backpack into the corner of your kitchen, where you immediately opened the fridge, grabbing some frozen onion rings before throwing them into an oil-filled pan. Through trial and error, you discovered that these onion rings had turned out to be one of the cheapest meals available at the Sprawl Mart. At least when it came to time investment, price, and being filling. A perfect example of healthy food just being something for the upper class. As the food sizzled on the stove, your gaze shifted to the pile of letters you had stepped over a second ago. With tired eyes, you checked them. What wasn't a bill was HOA. Ugh, seriously, HOA? You rolled your eyes. It was annoying enough to mow your lawn every Saturday, even though the grass was perfectly sized. Cutting the stupid hedge that separated your property from that of your neighbors. That was non-negotiable, and you were not allowed to just remove it. Well, at least that was one thing you had. Obscene garden gnomes. You had even gotten to court over them, with the judge demanding you change their angle, which you did with an evil smile, exactly measuring it afterwards using some tools. The HOA letter talked about some street festival the neighborhood would hold. Ugh, you rolled your eyes, like you would attend it. The stupid letter even dictated you what food to bring should you come. Yeah, no, that wasn't happening. You ripped the letter apart before returning your attention to your food. Meanwhile, on the other end of the street, Bob Velseb, the feared and evil devil butcher, just had a huge blunder. The home he had entered, which he had been sure, thanks to excessive stalking, should have been filled with delicious snacks. But it was entirely devoid of people. Angrily, the serial endgamer checked all rooms, even the attic. But it was when he opened the clothing cabinets in the house's bedrooms it finally dawned on him. His would-be feast had gone on vacation. More than half of the clothing was missing. The child's electronics, gone. And the fridge had a note on it for the neighbor. To feed the family's gerbil with the exact amount of food in grams while they were gone. Seriously, the man had perfectly planned everything. He've got seasoning. Angry, he slapped the cage of the family's rodents out of frustration. Sure, it was petty, and he knew it was petty, but that seemed like the only thing he could think of, mildly scaring the family's pets. But no, he would not go hungry today. The devil butcher left through the same window he had cracked open and began stalking for the night. A feast like he had planned needed perfect execution, no pun intended, and now that plan was gone. So of course he was quite angry. Slowly Bob crept through a couple of backyards. Here and there an angry dog barking at him, but that didn't matter. He'd be gone by the time any homeowner checked on their mutt's sudden rage. But then, from the corner of his eye, Bob Velseb stopped. The butcher had a strange feeling suddenly overcome him. He grinned and looked at your house. With his face twisted into a grin, he pulled down his devil mask and approached your back porch. He slowly ogled into your living room. He saw an attractive woman eating some onion rings while watching TV. That made his mouth water. It'd probably taste good marinated with spare rib sauce. His goal was set. Like a child, Bob sat down. Giddy, he ordered his ingredients. His hand hovering over the spicy pepper grinder. It was almost empty. In recent days, Bob had discovered spicy tastes better, considering it was the opposite of his usual favorite, which was sweet candy. It created an amazing juxtaposition in his gut, and he loved eating spicy meat followed by incredibly sweet treats. Sighing, he put the spice into his pocket. He would try and leave some of left for next time. Finally, having made his choice of seasoning, he looked back into the house. The woman, you, had gotten up from her spot in the living room and had vanished somewhere in the house. Bob was overjoyed, accepting the wild goose chase through it. His large hand took hold around your back door knob. It rattled, locked. Oh well, it wouldn't always open, would it? Not all neighbors were so stupid. Bob slowly crept around your house twice. It was a little uncouth going through a window twice in a row, but ringing your doorbell was out of the question. After all, it wasn't Halloween. And then, annoyed, he climbed up to your balcony roof, in the vain hope that... Oh, wait, what was that? An open attic window! He chuckled to himself as he jumped up, his fingers barely grasping it. If someone saw him now, this would be hilariously humiliating. His heart pounded as he lifted himself up. With a soft thud, he landed on an old, dirty mattress on the other side. Almost like you were inviting him. Bob hunted you throughout your home, playing with you, though you didn't even realize he was there. Right behind you, moving things behind your back and turning on your stove once, only for you to turn it off, sighing it off as you being an idiot. But something soon was off. Very, very off. As Bob Velseb pressed his ear against your bathroom door. You were taking a bath. Normally he'd use this as an opportunity to get his sauces ready, but as he listened, he heard crying. Bob blinked. Huh? There he remained for a while, listening to your sobbing. Bob sighed. He was the one supposed to make you sob. This was really ruining his appetite. You remained in the bathtub for slightly over an hour. A weight Bob had spent hyping himself up and not be affected by you. And as you opened the door, wet towel only wrapped around your waist, you looked at the man with the devil mask. You blinked in surprise, but you didn't scream, which offended Bob quite a lot. You raised both of your arms to the side, expectantly, and said, "Just get it over with already." You awoke hours later, eyes heavy and tired, your legs feeling like jelly. Your head slowly rolled to your right. It was 4 p.m., judging by your alarm. Wow. You had slept through both of your alarms, slept through your bosses calling you 12 times, and even managed to sleep through concerned neighbors who wondered why last night there had been such loud screams coming from your home. After all, you didn't seem to have a boyfriend. You rolled to your right. Bob was snoring loudly next to you. Lifting your head slightly, you looked around. Your bedroom was a mess, as it turned out. Being such a willing, tender treat definitely ruined Bob's appetite, at least on the side of hunger for flesh, but his more carnal desires had taken over, as well as something he didn't know he had. Protectiveness, or at least a feeling of it. He wanted you, but not as a snack. Well, technically as a snack. After all, he did eat you, but not in that way. Sighing, you wandered into your bathroom, phone in hand, ready to call your boss. But then you shut it off entirely, placing it next to your sink. Honestly, after last night, you didn't care anymore. Suddenly you chuckled, and then laughed. You didn't care anymore. It was an uplifting feeling. You felt free and happy. After stretching for the first time in what felt like forever, you returned to the bedroom. Bob was gone. On your pillow, a single spice dispenser. You picked it up, furrowing your brows. Super spicy atomic seasoning. Was that The intruder's way of saying thank you for the fun last night? Hey, thank you for watching my video until the end. If you're new here, I hope you stick around and watch a few more. But before I say goodbye, I'd like to remind you to like the video and subscribe. That really helps the YouTube algorithm. That's all. Hope you have a good day. Until next time. Bye!